Yo, what's happening? B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. What's goody boxing heads and fight fans around the world? Back at you with another one, Slim B Marsh Boxing. So you see the title, man. It's been a lot. There's been things been shaking up at 154 in drastic fashion. I mean, Charlo lost to Tony Harrison. What's going on, main boxing biker? What the deal, man? Main boxing biker in the chat. Big up yourself. So Tony Harrison shook up the division when he got that controversial, and it's controversial. Let's not get it twisted, man. Let's not get it twisted. I personally was rooting for Tony Harrison. I hoped he caused the upset, and sure enough, he did. But at the end of the day, I also had Jamel Charlo winning on my scorecard, 7 rounds to 5. Not taking nothing away from Tony Harrison, but it was a controversial fight. So there we go. Jamel Charlo loses his belt just like that within the snap of a judges raising their scorecards or writing in their scorecards. Unanimous decision. All three of judges had it for Tony Harrison. Immediate rematch is a must. Charlo exercised his rematch clause, and we're going to have that fight happen on the 23rd of June. Can't wait. I was at the Fairfax, Virginia, George Mason campus, Eagle Bank Arena this weekend. J. Rock Williams, a guy who's not a bum by no means, a guy who was ranked high in the sanctioning bodies like I bet the WBC. I think he was ranked high in three of the four major sanctioning bodies, WBA, WBC, and IBF. I believe he was a voluntary. He wasn't no mandatory for Jared Hurd. He was a voluntary, okay? He comes to the DMV and he upsets Jamel Charlo. Excuse me, Jared Hurd in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily in his hometown, but in his home area. You know what I mean? Major upset. Nothing controversial about that decision. Only thing controversial, and I was there live at the event. Only thing controversial is when I watched the fight on Sunday on TV. Okay, every fight I go to in real life, I gotta come home and watch the shit with my own eyes on the TV. You know what I mean? Because when I was in the arena, I had the fight 7-5 in favor of J. Rock Williams. You know what I mean? 115, 112. 112 because the knockdown in round two. But when I came home and I watched it on TV, I actually had it 8 rounds to 4. You know what I mean? 8 rounds to 4. 116, 111. All right, so he clearly beat Jared Hurd. The only thing controversial was Larry Hazard Sr. His scorecard as the unofficial scorecard. And also the commentary by PBC on Fox. I like PBC on Fox, got no problem with it. I think it's great what they're doing for boxing, putting boxing on terrestrial TV. Big fights on um, terrestrial TV, nationally syndicated for everybody to watch. Fox 5, you know what I mean? For free. All you need is an antenna. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only thing controversial. But then main boxing biker says ESPN had heard winning the fight after. Yeah, it was Dan Raphael. But you gotta also understand where this fight was held was in Dan Raphael's backyard, Northern Virginia. That's where Dan Raphael lives. You know what I mean? He's from Northern Virginia. I don't know if it's Arlington or Fairfax, but he's from the vicinity where this fight was held. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he was probably his judgment was clouded by the fans. You know what I mean? The fans in the building. Because it was a very pro Jared Hurd atmosphere up in there. You know what I mean? So Jared Hurd loses his belt. Fair and square, I believe he will exercise the rematch clause because there is a rematch clause. And that's that. But at the end of the day, what happened at the junior middleweight, light middleweight, 154-pound division will happen in the heavyweight division. You keep playing. Now, I'm not saying guys marinated the fights at 154 and were prolonging shit. And oh, no, that's what they're doing in the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, in the junior middleweight division, everybody's fighting each other. Everybody except Jaime Munguia. You know what I mean? Everybody except Jaime Munguia. Main Boxing Bike in the chat says that was a clean ass whooping though, for real. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Beat the shit out of him, man. The uppercuts, the left hooks, short, straight, right, compact right hands, body shots, and the crisp jab was anything and everything that the man Jarrett Hurd could not handle. You know what I mean? In rounds where he tried to rally back, the man Julian J. Rock Williams had an answer for him immediately to offset his offense, so Jarrett Hurd could reset. You know, but what happened in the junior middleweight division will happen at the heavyweight division. These guys in the heavyweight division, whether it's Tyson Fury, Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, believe you me, they keep fucking around and not fighting each other. Somebody gonna come through and upset one of them, and it's gonna be a wrap. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a wrap. That fight between Anthony Joshua and Wilder, which has been dangling over our heads since about 2016, 2017. Nothing has happened. 2017, nothing has happened. None of these guys are even close to fighting each other. What's his name? Tyson Fury is fighting Tom Schwartz on British pay-per-view. Might as well be pay-per-view here because I'm pretty sure they're gonna put that on ESPN Plus, ESPN Plus, the app, which costs $5 a month. So that's what they doing. You know what I mean? Fellas like Deontay Wilder's fighting Dominic Brazil. I mean, that's not an easy fight. It's a dangerous fight. It's a big dude that man Deontay Wilder's fighting. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua's fighting what's the guy's name? Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz has contended for a world title in his career, and I thought he even won that fight versus Joseph Parker in New Zealand. But you know he wasn't gonna walk away with the close fight, beating Joseph Parker in New Zealand. That was not gonna happen. But overall, these guys could lose. You know what I mean? Now Deontay Wilder, the age factor, age is not on his side. He's not 43. He's not 38, 39, but he's definitely older than Fury and Anthony Joshua. And if he goes through any wars sooner than later, then he's going to be prime for guys like Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? You know, some may say that that Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are trying to age the man Wilder out. Well, that's possible. Let's not get it twisted. After AJ beat Vladimir Klitschko, he said it himself on that mat, sitting on that ring mat with Johnny Nelson, that they looking to fight Wilder in 2019, 2020. Now that Deontay Wilder is saying that they're not looking to fight this guy AJ till 2020 possibly because they have options and stuff they trying to do on Showtime. People trying to they trying to flame up the man Wilder, while the man Anthony Joshua and Barry Hearn. Let's not get it twisted. I remember exactly where these guys were. Barry Hearn was outside fishing. He was sitting on the banks of some kind of pond fishing. And he said it himself. It's a smart business decision to prolong the fight. You know what I'm saying? So fellas don't have to risk they owe right about now. Maybe somebody could go through wars and look vulnerable, kind of how like Triple G did versus Danny Jacobs, and that's why Canoli answered the bell quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know what I mean? Before that, Canoli wanted no parts of Triple G. That's just how it goes. But we gotta commend the guys at 154 for getting it in, fighting each other, taking a loss. That's what happens when the best fight the best. Now, Jared Hurd and Charlo, um, there was a monkey wrench thrown into the game plan. You know what I mean? First and foremost, Jared Hurd came back from a shoulder injury, tested his shoulder out against Jason Wellborn. Boom. He got that W in 4 rounds, knocked him out. Okay, Jamel Charlo was supposed to beat Tony Harrison. All right, and when did that fight happen? I don't know. Sometime earlier this year. It happened in March, so they about to get it in July or June 23rd, right? Um, if the man heard or Charlo hadn't lost to to Tony Harrison, possibly we would be seeing that fight with Jared Hurd and Charlo this summer. You know what I mean? But like I said, there was a monkey wrench thrown into the plans of both fights. Tony Harrison caused the upset, and so did J. Rock Williams. Even though J. Rock Williams one was more convincing, you know what I mean? So these guys got to be commended, got to be given enough credit and props at junior middleweight for facing each other and willing to risk they owe. Especially Jared Hurd, he ain't need to fight the guy who's ranked in the WBC. He could have said, "Man, I'm gonna let Tony Harrison, the winner of Charlo and Harrison, handle that business, man. I don't got nothing to do with the man, Julian J. Rock Williams. No, Jared Hurd stepped up to the plate and he took a difficult fight, and everybody thought he'd win that fight. Everybody except the man McGregor. Big ups to Unrivaled Boxing Talk. And he came on and he did what he did, man. He upset the man Jared Hurd in his hometown, man. I'm trying to tell you, I was in that motherfucking Eagle Bank Arena. It was a sad and somber exit leaving that piece, you know what I mean? Leaving out the exits. Mostly I heard women complaining, you know what I'm saying? Fellas was pissed. They was kind of like, what the fuck just happened? But the women were going in, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was older moms, young ladies, they couldn't believe what they just seen. I couldn't believe it neither. But at the end of the day, after the fight, after the bell in the 12th round rang, I was like, man, I heard lost this fight. There's no way he gonna win this fight, even on the judges. Even a blind man could see who won this fight. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the junior middleweight division is stacked. All guys in their primes. Nobody's 30. All guys, nobody's undefeated. Even Erickson Lubin took a loss. People laughed at him. Oh, he got caught with a lucky punch. And there was a lucky punch. Because believe you me, that man Jamel Charlo didn't come in there with the intention of knocking this guy out in the first round. I'm sure he believed there'd be somewhat of a scrap, you know what I mean? He caught him with a lucky punch, executed punch at that, you know. But maybe Lubin was green. All I know is I said the man Lubin has an opportunity later on down the line to still become a champion at 154. It's not a foregone conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Whether he does or not will remain to be seen. But I do believe that division anybody could take that beating. I mean, look at the man Ishe Smith, man. Ishe Smith arguably beat J. Rock Williams. Ishe Smith comes into the ring with the man Erickson Lubin, a guy where everybody laughed at because of getting knocked out and doing some kind of funky dance when he hit the canvas, you know what I'm saying? Shaking like he got Tourette syndrome. Now, look what the man Erickson Lubin did to Ishe Smith. He beat the shit out of him and retired him, you know what I mean? So the triangle theory ain't gonna work in this division, you know what I'm saying? So and so could beat so and so and so and so could beat so and so. You know what I mean? This fella's got to fight. In the heavyweight division, nobody wants to lose that. Oh, you know what I mean? Fellas feel like they're on the road to millions. You know what I'm saying? Especially fellas like Fury and Wilder. They gonna get their biggest paydays. You know what I'm saying? While like just like Anthony Joshua, these guys about to amass over 10 million in a fight. Take a loss, man. Your paycheck gonna take a massive hit, and fellas ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? And that's why the heavyweight division has been stagnant. You know, when Tyson Fury in 2015 November beat Klitschko, man, I was so excited and jubilated because I thought it's a changing of the guard at the heavyweight division, which was stagnant and dormant for about 10 years, while Klitschko was reigning, and his brother too. You know what I'm saying? But now I thought that there's new blood in the division with the Tyson Furies. I was about to say Divock, excuse me. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. I thought there's going to be a breath of fresh air and new blood in the division, man. But all these fellas is just pussyfooting around each other, all fighting on different networks. A lot of politics that's holding these fight back. You know what I mean? Thank God the best junior middleweights on the planet are on one channel. 154 pounds, they're all on Showtime or PBC on Fox. Jaime Munguia's on the outside looking in, going life and death with that Japanese Naui, not Naui Nui. His name was Anui, his last name, going life and death with Dennis Hogan. I thought Dennis Hogan won that fight. You know what I'm saying? And the only options he has over there is Jesse Vargas. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, fellas, man, in the heavyweight division are the most disappointing fighters in boxing. And sooner than later, man, believe you me, man, one of these fellas gonna get Hasim Rahman. You know what I mean? Like how Hasim Rahman beat the man, Lennox Lewis over there in South Africa. You know what I mean? Buster Douglas in Tokyo, Japan. Don't let none of these fellas don't let them. Fuck, man. Look at Anthony Joshua coming to the USA. You never know. Andy Ruiz might knock his ass out. Same with Brazil and Wilder. You know what I mean? That's a possibility. But don't let these fellas leave their comfort zone. And there's a hungry young lion who's breathes the same oxygen as they do, drinks the same H2O, and is even putting on more hard work in the gym. Don't be surprised if they cause the upset. All of them are call style. You know what I mean? What fellas talking about in the chat? Where we at? Mm. Main Boxer Biker says we already saw a few scares in the heavyweights also. AJ been rescued by the judges a few times. AJ was losing. He lost the first two rounds of the Povetkin fight, but then he handled his business after that, knocked him out. The Takam fight was close, and so was the Parker fight. I thought it was a bad stoppage in the Takam fight. I don't give a fuck if his eyes was busted, man. That man was still fighting. He was still coming through. He had broken AJ's nose, whether it was with his fist or his head, don't matter. It was a fight, and the referee stopped it. Joseph Parker, I thought it was a close fight, but Wilder, I'm sorry, AJ beat him, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder's gone through some scares. Some people think that the Wilder versus Ortiz was controversial. That was just a figmentation of their imagination because how the fuck was it controversial when Luis Ortiz was on his knees shaking his head, no mas, no more. He got knocked out. Controversial is when it's a bad stoppage or controversial scorecards. How the fuck is it controversial when the guy got dropped twice in the 10th round and couldn't fight no more? People say anything to try and create their own narrative and rhetoric, man. It's fucking sad. Y'all fellas the type of fellas to get rejected by a bitch, then go tell all your friends, man, I fucked that broad, man. I was hitting that all night last night. That's the same type of shit lying on your dick is the same type of shit as lying when we blatantly seen the man Luis Ortiz get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Nothing controversial about that fight. I don't give a fuck about what you think about the seventh round stoppage. Why y'all motherfuckers wasn't crying when James DeGale got looked at by the doctors coming into I forgot what round when he was fighting Badu Jack. Nobody cried about that. You know what I'm saying? You're just mad that Luis Ortiz didn't knock out Wilder. Why don't you say Wilder got a chin, got blasted with that left hand, and still stood in there, walked to his corner, came back and finished the fight. Anyways, what else was controversial with Wilder? The Tyson Fury fight. I personally had it a draw. 7 rounds to 5 in favor of Tyson Fury on the scorecards, but the two knockdowns made it a draw. Some may call that fight controversial. If you want to call that one controversial, yeah, it was controversial, but not the Luis Ortiz fight. So at the end of the day, yeah, man, anybody could take a ass whooping in these divisions, especially the heavyweight divisions. That's where the upsets happen when fellas do fight each other. You know what I mean? Okay. Main boxing biker says Pacquiao took a nap while marinating the Mayweather fight. Yeah, he did. Exactly, he did. He took two losses back to back to Tim Bradley and Marquez. I thought he beat Tim Bradley in the first fight. I remember where I was at. It was 2012, June 21st. It was my birthday. I was up in U Street, uptown DC. U Street, um, at this joint called Republic Gardens. You know what I mean? Watching the fight up in that joint, and when they announced the scorecards, everybody was looking at each other like, "What the fuck? How Pacquiao lose that fight? He won that fight." But anyways, he did get knocked out in the next fight versus Marquez. You know, and some may say, like my main boxing biker said, he was marinating that Mayweather fight. But at the end of the day, I thought that Marquez fight was necessary because the Marquez and Pacquiao 3, that was a big, massive robbery. I thought Marquez beat Pacquiao 8 rounds to 4. So the fourth fight was necessary, and sure enough, he got knocked out. And these things could happen, man. You know what happened in the junior middleweight division will happen in the heavyweight division. It doesn't matter if these guys are not even fighting each other. One of these bombs, Brazil could knock out Wilder. It's possible, especially if Wilder wants to get in an exchange with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what Brazil wants, an exchange for us to go to war so he could catch him. Okay, Phil Bant says AJ got belts from garbage bin of Fury's leftovers, and Fury a clown. Um, I don't know if Fury's a clown, but I do agree AJ got belts from Fury's leftovers. As far as those, all those belts used to be Fury's, but at the end of the day, Fury did not do what he had to do as a heavyweight champion and retain his belts. He fell off the grid and just got obese, started using cocaine and being an alcoholic. And maybe he did that with the intent of not fighting none of these young heavyweights coming up like Wilder and Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? Because he ain't sure as hell ain't fighting them no time soon right now on his comeback. He's fighting the Tom Schwartz and them. Okay. Main boxing biker says, nah. Uh, Charlo and Hurd would have still been playing A and B side games. You're probably referring to if Charlo and Hurd fought would have if they kept, continued winning. Nah, I think they would have fought this year. They would have fought this year. You know what I mean? The A side would obviously be Jared Hurd. I mean, he had two straps. He had beat much better competition. He'd beat better guys. He'd beat Austin Trout in better fashion than Jamel Charlo. You know what I mean? He beat Arslandy Lara, a guy who Jamel and Jamal Charlo don't even utter his name. You know what I'm saying? So I think they would have fought this summer. Phil Bland says Hurd had those plodding shoes on. Yeah, man, his feet were stuck in quicksand. Very flat footed. He doesn't bounce on his toes. Phil Band says, true, the main boxing biker. Phil Band says, one of those AB leaving moves versus Maidana. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Phil Band says, don't sleep on J Rock. Hell no, nobody's sleeping on him. Not at all. I picked him to get stopped, you know, by the man Jared Hurd, but he obviously did not get the memo. Main boxing biker says the women was tight because Hurd went and bought up all the hair for the stores. Ah, shit, main boxing biker going in, man. He joning on the man. He joning on Slim, man. That's a funny one. You ain't never lied. That's why they was vexed, man. He was pissed up in there. Made Phil Bass laughing at Main Boxing Biker's joke. That was a funny one. Main Boxing Biker says, Phil Bass, yeah. AB after fight walk back to the locker room was sad. Hell yeah, that man had the puffy eyes, man. Man, I was out there looking like a raccoon, you know what I mean? After the Maidana fight. Only thing I didn't like was the San Antonio fans throwing bottles at Adrian Broner. I thought that was very disrespectful and uncalled for. Why would they throw bottles? The man lost. Maidana, the guy that they was mostly rooting for in that San Antonio stadium arena, they got their wish. So I didn't think that was cool. But at the end of the day, we're gonna keep it moving. Phil Ban says to main boxing biker says, I love AB too, LOL, but he one corny dude. A lot of white dudes like AB I do, but man, let the hands go. Big boxing biker says, yep, and on heavy, and any night, any heavyweight can KO the other. No question about it. No doubt about it. Joseph Parker was losing to the man. Dillian White almost knocked him out in the 12th round. Now, if there was a 15 rounders, 15, if this was 15 rounders, I believe Dillian White would have lost that fight. He had no gas. He was gassed out, puffing on fumes in that 12th round. Phil Benson, I never liked Maidana. How comes you never liked Maidana? Phil Ben says TMT are a scum organization. Why are they a scum organization? Two questions I got for you. Phil Ben says I never liked Maidana, and the other one, TMT are a scum organization. How comes? Main boxing biker says it's hard to keep Maidana off you. Be a swarmer with heavy hands. Yeah, that overhand right was something mean. That overhand right, his signature punch, crucial. He caught Floyd with that in the second round. And he dropped AB in the second round with that too. Main boxer biker says Munguia have zero defense. Also, his days are numbered. No question about it. Let him come over there to face the best junior middleweights on the planet on PBC. His belt will be up for grabs. I got Erickson Lubin and beating him right now. I'd love to see that fight, matter of fact. Phil Bench says, never a fanboy of anyone. Main boxing biker says, I got my ticks for Wilder versus Brazil. I'm going to be up in Barclays. No doubt about it, man. It should be a good event. Gary Russell will be fighting Kiko Martinez with that. Matter of fact, I seen Gary Russell at the fight. Who did I see at the fight? I seen Gary Russell, Gilly the Kid. I see Nassim, brother Nassim, B-Hop's trainer. Carl Dogan, lightweight from out of Philly. I only saw Jerry Cooney on the screen. I didn't get to see him personally, up close and personal. Mm, who else did I see? I don't know if I seen anybody else who's a quote unquote celebrity. You know what I mean? But Gary Russell will be out there. You know what I'm saying? Gary Russell didn't mince his words neither, you know what I'm saying? When he was talking about Jared Hurd, basically saying Jared Hurd don't got no boxing skills or no head movement. After the fight, you know what I mean? But before the fight, he was really supportive of the man. But at the end of the day, he wasn't lying with what he said. And sure enough, yeah, they both from Maryland, both from PG County. Shout outs to PG County, big up. Um, but Gary Russell doesn't have to lie to 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 make sure he doesn't hurt the man Jared Hurd's feelings. He said exactly what happened. The guy didn't have no head movement, no punch variety, no jab, and he got outboxed and got beat up. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, so Gary Russell will be on that, and that's a fight I'm looking forward to seeing Gary Russell fight. I always do. I mean, the man fights once a year. It's kind of like Adonis Stevenson, Southpaw. Or Rigondeaux, when these guys, another Southpaw, guys would probably fight once a year. Whenever they fought, I was excited. Couldn't wait to see what they do. Great talents, extreme talents. Guys who knock fellas the F out, but only fight once a year, so to me it was like an event. Boxing Biker says, yo, they need to stop crying about the seventh round Wilder because AJ called his own timeout when oh, Boxing Biker, preach. That motherfucker AJ did call a timeout, man. He did call a timeout when he fought Takov. You ain't never lie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they forget about that, because of their hatred for Wilder. Look, man, I got an app I use over here, right? I got an app where I score my scorecards. You guys are free to go check it out in your app store, your Apple Store, your Google Play Store. It's called Fight Score. I believe it's from some British software developers. You know what I mean? That's where I score my fights and I keep my scorecards. It's in my phone. I could go back 2 years ago and see how I scored. I don't know, whatever great fights they had 2 years ago. Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua. I got all them scorecards stored in my phone. So I score my scorecards, and then there's a button to press to see what the average scorecard is on everybody on the planet Earth who is using that particular app to score the whichever fight they watching. You know what I mean? So last night when I was going to sleep, man, um, I was just looking through my old scorecards. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd press on every. I only looked at the controversial fights, controversial decisions, and I looked to see also what the average of everybody around the planet, and it shows you how many entries were scored on that particular fight. You know what I mean, by people around the world. And the most in the last 2 years, I lied, excuse me, in the last year, the most entries of people scoring fights on that particular app have been two fights. Gennady Golovkin versus Cannoli. I don't think I even went as far back to check. I just looked at the last one, which was last year in September. Triple G versus Cannoli, the second fight, and Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. All of them, both of them, amassed over 1,500 entries for people who scored them bouts. I looked at guys like Adrian Broner versus Pacquiao. It only had about 700. Uh, I looked at others. You know what I mean? But my point is, you could hate on Wilder all you want. You could say everything you want on the guy. You could say that he got saved by the referees and the doctors in round seven, going into round eight. Say all you want. All I know is on that particular app, and it showed to me that shows popularity. And I looked at Anthony Joshua too versus Povetkin. I think it only had about 692 um, entries of people who scored it. My point is, Cannoli and Deontay Wilder had the highest views and scorecard, people scoring the particular fights on that app. You know what I mean? To me, that's just a gauge to see who's popular and who people are mostly interested in. And it's not. Come on, dogs. Fellas talking hate on Wilder every day, whether they from England or USA. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many channels out there hating on the man Anthony Joshua, but Deontay Wilder gets hate from both Americans and guys from the United Kingdom. Okay, which is good. Which is good, like the man ODB says on his Return to 36 Chambers tape. To me, that just shows his popularity. I mean, you talk about the guy every day. Fellas be talking and banging on him. Whatever they saying, whether it's good or bad. To talk about Wilder every day and his popularity has risen. It's a given, you know what I mean? It's a given. Go get that Fight Score app. Go look at the entries and see who has the most popular scorecards. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, the second one, and Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Both of them have amassed over 1,500 to 1,600 scores. Let me get back to the chat. Um, you ain't never lied, main boxing biker. AJ called his timeout when he got hurt. Facts. Phil Bant says, I had it 116, 112 to Wilder. I've been calling saying, watch watch it back, no sound. What fight? Wilder versus Fury? You had. Hold on. Phil Bant says, Fury winning rounds by hands down, sticking tongue out. Get the fuck out of here. I have no time for that. I don't know about 116, 112 for Wilder. I can't agree with that one. Look, I was rooting for Wilder. I predicted he'd knock him out, but I had that fight a draw. Okay. Finks GRR, what's the deal, son? Finks GRR says, Big up, B Marsh. I couldn't listen to vids for a few days after J Rock's clinic, but But hey, now I got a new guy to watch. By the way, J Rock win looks a little better on Big Charlo's record too. What did you say? No question. That's definitely a good W for him. You know what I mean? A guy who came back after being written off to be a champion again. Or no, he was never a champion, but a champion. Period. He comes and upsets the biggest and the best fight at 154 pounds, and he does it convincingly and comprehensively. Doc Dre's in the chat. What up, Doc Dre? He says Andrade beats all these cats. Andrade gotta fight somebody, man. I've been said that for 2 years now, man. I like his talent, man. Guy from Rhode Island, but hey, man, he gotta fight somebody. You know what I mean? His career, he's undefeated, yeah, because he ain't fought nobody with a pulse except Vanis Marderosian. Phil Bant says Lara and Trout are gatekeepers, not elite. Nope, I can't agree with you on that, Phil Bant. That's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna call Lara a gatekeeper. How the fuck is he a gatekeeper? You know what I'm saying? The guy lost to a younger, hungrier fighter in Jared Hurd in a unification. How is he a gatekeeper? And Austin Trout ain't no gatekeeper neither. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Austin Trout is a guy who gives everybody at that 154 trouble, and he's a former world champion himself. He arguably beat Canelo Alvarez, arguably beat Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? You know, that division, any of these guys could lose. Lara and Trout could beat up anybody in the division on any given night. That's what my point of this whole video is. You know, these guys are fighting each other. But the guys at the heavyweight division are not. You know what I'm saying? Doc Dre says Larry is still a top fighter. Yes, exactly. He is. I had him beating that Brian Castano guy 7-5. You know what I mean? It was a close fight. I wasn't mad at the draw. Could have gone either way, but I had it 7-5. That wasn't no robbery. Brian Castano is another major player at 154. A guy who beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. You know what I mean? Phil Bant says I'm an AB fanboy. LOL. That's why my comments. Phil Bant says one a year fight is a whole move versus bums too. 1980s guys banged 4 or 5 times a year. This ain't the 1980s no more. Then you could say all these guys are pull whole moves. You know what I mean? All these particular fighters right now, because nobody fights 4 or 5 times a year. And if you really knew the backstory on why a guy like Gary Russell fights once a year, or Guillermo Rigondeaux, or even Adonis Stevenson at the time, you know what? These guys are actually the boogeymans of their division. You know what I mean? These guys from Stevenson, Gary Russell, and Guillermo Rigondeaux, nobody wanted to fight these guys. These guys pleaded and asked for all the best fights in their division. Whether it was Stevenson trying to get Ward and Kovalev in the ring, none of these guys wanted to fight him, so they fought each other. B-Hop didn't even want to fight Stevenson, so he went and fought Kovalev. And that was a cherry pick gone wrong. Guillermo Rigondeaux, come on, how many guys do I got to name? Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, Scott Quigg. All these guys ducked him. Only No Nito Donaire had the balls to step in the ring with him. Gay Russell, another guy who's being ducked by Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, Javante Davis, Scott Quigg, Carl Frampton. None of these guys wanted to get in the ring with him. And I heard the man Gary Russell say that he's basically on a fight by fight basis and he's no longer with Al Heyman. You know? Gary Russell makes over $1 million a fight. Plus he keeps all the gate revenue, or gets a percentage of the gate revenue wherever he fights at. I mean, for a guy, Gary Russell, who he's about his business, you know what I mean? And fellas ain't trying to step in the ring with him. Look at Lee Selby, held that belt hostage for years. Ain't want to step in the ring at featherweight versus Gary Russell. Look what happened. Josh Warrington tapped that ass, you know what I mean? Uh, Main Boxing Biker says, I just downloaded it. Fight Score. Yeah, man, I love that app. No more writing on paper on pen and paper for me for my scorecards. And now all my scorecards, since I've had that app for over 2 years, they all in my phone. You know what I'm saying? All in my phone. And I love to go look at controversial decisions to see what everybody around the world who's using that app, how they scored it. I also looked at Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, very a crucial, controversial one. And the majority of the people who had that, they had it. The average score was a victory for Tyson Fury. I believe like 115 to 111 or 114 to 112. 114, 112 was the average scorecard. You know what I mean? I had it 113, 113. But it's a great app. I love that app. FixGRR says, critically speaking, how do we rate J Rock's victory if channels are implying that Hurt is flat footed weight bully who hasn't faced a young, strong boxer? You know, when I was at the arena, when I watched that fight, Hurt's best victories have been against a guy like Landy Lara. I'm not saying he's past his prime now, but Landy Lara is not, he's a little older in age now, you know what I mean? Austin Trout, these guys' best days were probably around 2013, you know, and he beat Tony Harrison, who's a guy in his prime who went on to become a world champion. But then again, I thought I wanted him to win, but I personally didn't think he won that fight. So, you know, I was conflicted on how happy I want to be for him. I'm happy. Should I be happy he won the title, even though I didn't think he won the title? But at the end of the day, I don't. Jared Hurd, I just think he underestimated J Rock. J Rock, he himself said his trainer was in Jared Hurd's locker room while they was taping up his hands, and he says these guys were having fun in the locker room. I'm pretty sure there was probably 100 people in Jared Hurd's locker room. I'm trying to tell you, man, there was mad Jared Hurd support up in that arena. A lot of people had their Swift Hurd T-shirts, the joints made by Nike. I think Jared Hurd got a contract with Nike. If he does, big ups to him, because his merchandise is made by Nike. You know, so I'm pretty sure there was like 100 deep in his locker room, and Jared Hurd was getting a shape up, getting a fresh shape up and shit. You know, Jared, hey, I'm pretty sure there was probably like only 5 motherfuckers in J Rock's locker room before the fight, but he was focused and he came and did what he did. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call the man Jared Hurd a weight bully. How's he a weight bully when he lost to a guy who was even smaller in height and stature, but more physically bigger in body mass than J. Rock Williams? You know what I mean? I just think Jared Austin Trout and Landy Lara didn't have the legs that they used to have to compete with a guy like Jared Hurd. That's why I knew he would win both those fights. And we can't take nothing away from Jared Hurd, Finch GRR, because everybody, except me and a few people, picked Jared Hurd to beat Lara and Trout and Tony Harrison. Look, everybody did. I'm pretty sure this was the first time in life where everybody picked Jared Hurd to beat J Rock. Every fight before that, they picked Jared Hurd to lose. You know what I'm saying? So I think they finally got convinced that this guy's the real deal at 154. And maybe Jared Hurd also now convinced himself and got his head gassed up. Niggas put a battery in his back. And he just ran with the idea that he's the best in the world at 154, and he knocked out that Jason Wellborn guy, and no, but Jamal Charlo lost, so he has no competition. And nah, man, I think the homecoming fight. Look, man, when you got a homecoming fight, you got to be focused on your dean, dogs. Fuck that. You're gonna have to have your homie. You see that his homeboy Flick, is his name Flick? Son with the dreads, right? Slim with the dreads named Flick. If he's supposed to be Jared Hurd's right hand man, he should have been taking care, and Jared Hurd's mom and dad. They should have taken care of all family affairs, whether it's tickets, gathering of family. Yes, you could come to the fight, you could show support, but Jared Hurd, you got to do the same routine that you've been doing on your way up to show why you are a hungry fighter. You know what I'm saying? Fighting over there at the race course over there, the racehorse course over there where I went to see. And that was my first time seeing and meeting Jared Hurd when I went to see the guy Darius King Irvin. Big ups to King Darius when he fought over here in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of pressure. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on Hurd, man. He had a lot of family, man. A lot of family. I look right, left, down, center, everywhere. Mad people. You see them little girls that Javid Hurd came out with, maybe his little nieces or something. When he came out with when he fought Jason Wellborn on that Wilder Fury undercard, there was like 2 seats behind me, and they was loud as hell, rooting for their guy Jared Hurd. But at the end of the fight, it was real quiet where we was at, cause they knew what happened. They man lost. You know what I mean? All right. So I think J Rock just you gotta give him big props, 100% credit for beating the number one guy at 154. And Jared Hurd's resume at 154 was pound for pound worthy, no question about it. I had him in my top 10, pound for pound. Phil Band says Finks GRR ignore media was a great win. Preach. That was a great comment by Phil's band. That's a great comment. That's exactly right. Shane Campbell, Lara and Trout elite. I agree, Shane Campbell. Doc Gray says, I think Andrade the only person who could give Canelo issues. I'm not gonna lie. After I seen Danny Jacobs versus Canelo, I was sitting there to myself thinking, who the fuck could beat Canelo right now at 160? And I came to the conclusion that nobody can. Now, this guy Andrade is a southpaw, got nice long reach, taller fighter. I don't know if he can take them body shots. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen the man Andrade. He's got a great skill level, man. But the best fight I've seen him in is it's a long time ago now. Willie Nelson was a guy who had been beat already. Vanes Rosen had not been, and that was the last time I seen the man Andrade in a competitive fight, and that was in 2013. Long time ago now. Where we at? All right. Phil Ban says Trout, as he name of fish taking be as his name of fish taking 8 losses in 13 fights. Yeah, well, he's fighting the best of the best in the division. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting the best of the best, man. Main Boxer Biker says, I was there live for Lara Hurd fight. That was a war. Lara fought his heart out. No question about it. That was my fight of the year for 2018, last year. Phil Ban says, and Lara the same. Well, Lara has not taken 8 losses in his last 13 fights. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'd even have to look at Austin Trout. 8 losses? I don't think he has 8 losses on his resume, man. Who's he lost to? Canelo Alvarez, Erislandy Lara, Jamel Charlo, Austin Trout. I'm sorry, Jamal Charlo, Jared Hurd. Who else he lost to? That ain't no 8 losses, man. Phil Bench, you can't be coming up here lying on guys, man. That man ain't got no 8 losses. Look at all the guys he lost to. Those are fucking world champions. Phil Bench says there's no boogeyman. They fought 5 times a year. They would 5 times a year. They would. They are no boogeyman. They fought 5 times a year. They would last. Modern hoes. Nah, they are boogeyman. What are you talking about, Phil Bant? Phil Bant, now you're trying. Now, I don't know about your boxing knowledge. First of all, you said you're an AB fanboy. You already get a strike for that. You know what I'm saying? If you was an AB fanboy in 2012, now we talking when he was on the pound for pound list. But in 2019, if you're an AB fanboy, man, I gotta question your boxing integrity, man. And then talking about Austin Trout got 8 losses and Adonis Stevenson, Gary Russell, and Rigondeaux were not boogeymen. Are you serious? Are you serious? Man, Guillermo Rigondeaux is breaking people's faces and jaws. Nobody was trying. Man, Scott Quick said it himself. Man, why I gotta fight this man, Guillermo Rigondeaux? Everybody else ain't fighting him. Everybody else ducked him. So I ain't gotta fight him neither. What, I don't need my face to get broken. Come on, man. Main Boxer Biker says Rico's not getting fights because many people are scared of him. Facts. Phil Band says all ducking. B Hop was 48 versus Cove. Yeah, he was ducking Stevenson. That's why he fought Kovalev. And that was a cherry pick gone wrong. Phil Band says Quigg was nonsense. Yeah, Quigg was a champion. They gave him that strap, WBA, and he still ain't want to fight the man Regal. Main Boxing Biker says, I don't like Carl Frampton and Scott Queer. He said Carl Frampton. Yeah, these guys, man, I don't like them neither, man. I thought Carl Frampton did beat Leo Santa Cruz the first time they fought. Some people thought Santa Cruz won that fight. I thought Scott Quigg won it comfortably, 8 rounds to 4. But I hate how these guys ducked the man Guillermo Rigondeaux. And they did it with no shame. Shane Campbell says, only ducker in boxing is Wilder. Shane Campbell, that's not the only ducker in boxing. The man, you could say Anthony Joshua's a ducker too. Yeah, could say the same thing. Phil Band says, Quigg a hoe, I agree. Phil Branton says, Warrington slams Selby. Warrington's a bad dude. Thinks GRR says, Heard knocking out Tony the Tiger may be a better win than getting outboxed by an older trout. Anyway, thanks for the reply, B Marsh. Hit the thumbs up, people. No question. Hit that thumbs up, people. What's good, McGregor? McGregor's in the chat. Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. What's happening, man? Yeah, man, if you just getting up in here, McGregor, I was just basically saying how these guys at the heavyweight division, what's happening at 154 can happen and will happen. It will happen at the heavyweight division. Let these guys keep cherry picking and not fighting each other. They're going to get Hasim Rahman. They're going to Hasim Rahman, their opponent, like Hasim Rahman did Lennox Lewis in South Africa, or Buster Douglas did Mike Tyson in Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? Or Leon Spinks did Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen sooner than later, especially in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? Look at Anthony Joshua versus Povetkin. Yeah, Povetkin got knocked out, but the first 2 rounds, man, he was staggering and stumbling and wobbling the man. What's his name? Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? So no matter how old guys is, no matter how short they reaches, whatever the case may be, man. Don't be surprised if somebody takes an L this year. Keep cherry picking each other and not fighting the best of the best, and fellas will lose. Why the guys at 154 pounds have a losses? Because everybody fighting each other. Everybody except Jaime Munguia, who's on the outside looking in. Charlo, Harrison, Hurd, Williams, Lubin, Austin Trout, Lara, Castano. Great fighters at 154 all fighting each other. Michael Sorrow got beat by Castano to be in position to fight Lara. Fellas gonna take losses when they fight the best of the best. No two ways about it. No ways around it. Already, Rigo says Rigo ducked for 16 years and got Wade Bully Loma beat him, and Rigo got 160K for that fight. An old, nearly 40-year-old Rigo disgusting Novada Loma. No mas they say, Novada I say. Phil Band says we both agree on Rigo. Novadachenko, yeah. Lomachenko, yeah, if you look on BoxRec, he ain't enrolled in the VADA, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, hey, Lomachenko did what he had to do. Weight bully he is at the time. What was that? 130. Guillermo Rigondeaux came up from 122. Guillermo Rigondeaux asked for that smoke, and he got exactly what he wanted. It was very disappointing the outcome of the fight. I picked Guillermo Rigondeaux to win that fight, and unfortunately, he didn't prove his greatness that night. But it is what it is. Phil Band says Loma got what, 5 mil for Rigo? No, he ain't never Lomachenko ain't never got 5 million in his life. Nah, Lomachenko just started making the type of paychecks Bud Crawford makes. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure if the man he might have surpassed 3 million now. You know what I mean? But I know he just probably got that 3 million in his last fight. Was it versus either versus Crawler or the guy he fought before that, the Puerto Rican guy. What's the guy's name? Pedraza. So yeah, man, he ain't never gotten 5 mil before. And Rigo ain't getting no 160K. No, he didn't. Why you trying to diss the man Rigo? He ain't getting no 160K. He was supposed to get 1 million, but I think it was something short of that. I think it might have been. I think it might have been like 500K. I think it was 500K or something. You know what I mean? Um, where we at? Finks GRR says at this point AJ could have negotiated with BT for 50 million and we might have a trilogy already. Yeah, but some will say he's contracted. He's obligated to Sky Sports. That's why he ain't budged. And at the end of the day, it's business, and I ain't mad at that. If he has a contract with Sky Sports, he just can't renege and get out that contract to fight for one fight. Maybe he could have if he really wanted the 50 million. But at the end of the day, they will make more than 50 million each if they fight each other now. Phil Ben says he got 400K after tax was 160K. I don't know what kind of Uncle Sam mathematics you're doing, man, but that's way over. That's that's over 50% of his money being taken if he got 400K to make 160K. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's close to 60%. You're gonna have to prove that with the links. I don't know how much he got after taxes and paying off the managers and trainers and all that. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to send some links or something. Why don't you do that? Send some links. Shoot them in my comment section or something. Phil Bass says it was 60% taken tax and Cuban tax and promoter. That man, you said Cuban tax. The guy doesn't fight in Cuba. He don't know Cuba nothing. What you think? A country that's ostracized him and he defected. He can't come. He can't come back to Cuba. So what? What? He's gonna be giving him a part of his purse. Now, if you said that Kareem Promotions took a nice chunk out of his purse, then hey, maybe we can agree. I don't know about him. He owns homes in Cuba, says Phil Benz. So if he owns homes in Cuba, what does that mean? He pays taxes over there for his homes? I don't know, man. You're gonna have to show links in this. I've never heard of Guillermo Rigondeaux. I doubt he owns any homes in Cuba, man. If he does, they probably finished and paid off for already, man. The guy ain't have no money when he left Cuba and defected. So he obviously ain't have no houses or homes in Cuba. Maybe he sent some money down there for them to build homes for him from his pro boxing purses. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, that's an investment. That's not a deduction. That's not that's an asset more than a liability. You know what I'm saying? If I have $100,000 right now, if I'm Cuban and I'm here in the states and I send down $100,000 to Cuba for them to build me a house that's gonna sell for 500K, and I spend that $100,000 and I have $0 left. At the end of the day, that's not a liability. That's an investment because I could sell that house today and I'll get 500K for it. Came up from 100K to 500K. That's a $400,000 profit. Um, Shane Campbell, get your hating ass up out of here, man. Shane Campbell out here keep talking about Wilder is a duck. Your favorite fighter is a duck too. Why don't you talk boxing besides just saying so and so's a duck? Talk some boxing. Where your boxing IQ at? All right, let's keep it moving, man. Men Boxing Biker says, I think Aram slipped Rigo some bread under the table to lay down for Loma. Probably. He might have. He probably might have. Unrivaled Boxing Talk says he does owns homes in Cuba, B. Marsh, but he doesn't have to pay property tax. Where Phil's mistaken, but correct is he did pay Cuban tax. It's part of the extraditory process. Is it? Well, that's new to me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. So he has to pay the Cuban government some tax money, even though he doesn't reside there anymore. He can't even come back there. He can't go there and take their vacations. Lara and these guys, they don't go back to their home country. JD says, yep, Wilder and Ortiz are both quacking ducks, both turning down life changing money to get beaten for peanuts. Well, that remains to be seen, you know what I mean? JD, that remains to be seen. Um, if Wilder does take a L and Ortiz, they get knocked out because it's a heavyweight division, anything could happen. Then I will agree with you. In hindsight, these fellas fucked up, should have taken that life changing money. No doubt about it. Phil Bant says pre-tax gross for Sil Lomachenko 9-1 will be getting a guaranteed purse of 1.2 compared. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Phil Bant. You was talking about the man Rigo Loma made 500 million. I'm sorry, excuse me, 5 million, and Rigo made 160K. From what I remember, it was 400K and 1.2 million. You know what I mean? He just made his first 3 million just the other day. Phil Bass says, see Wiki. Main Boxing Biker says, Shane Campbell, what you talking about, son? Arrival Boxing says, Wiki isn't a source. I could go edit it right now. Phil Blast says, rigging that Lomachenko purse. Type in Google. Now, I don't disagree with you. I know that was the purse, 1.2 million and 400K. Phil Bass says, rigging that Lomachenko purse. Type it. Okay. Shane Campbell says, I'm talking about Wilder, the runner. Phil Bass says, I love Rigo. Phil Bass says, it's disgusting. Yes. LOL, he pays twice. True was not 5 million. Yeah, man. Shane Campbell and JD, man, I already know where y'all fellas come from. Y'all come from them channels that be bashing Wilder all day, every day. That's not what we do over here, Playboy. First and foremost, I don't be bashing none of these fighters unless they just blatantly asking for it. You know what I mean? I keep things from an objective perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I already know where y'all fellas come from. You know what I mean? I ain't never even seen you guys. Maybe I have. Maybe I have. I don't know if I seen you on my live stream before. You know what I mean? You check it, but if fellas is fighting for peanuts, I want you, JD, to show your 2018 tax returns. Show how much you made compared to what Deontay Wilder made for 2018. You know what I'm saying? Because fellas be more concerned about fellas' pockets, acting like they're accountants out here. You know what I mean? You check it. Pull out your books, man. You know what I'm saying? Pull out your book. Show how much you made for 2018 before you talk about another millionaire making peanuts. You heard? Main Boxing Biker says Aram did Nicholas Walters the X-Man dirty when he fell over. Nicholas Walters, man, that man got the post-traumatic syndrome still from how Aram treated them fellas. He ain't fought since, you know what I mean? All right. Main Boxing Biker says Aram be starving out these black boxers to give advantages to guys like Lomachenko. I agree 100%. Phil Bant says, Shane, this is a boxing channel, not heat. Campbell says, Arab number one at promoting. I don't know about that. Nope, I have to disagree. Lomachenko ain't no household name. Shane Campbell, neither is Terrence Bud Crawford. So what are you talking about, my guy? Look, PBC doing the best promoting out here. Fellas is clocking. They getting that money. You know what I'm saying? You check it. They fights are on Fox free on terrestrial TV. Shane Campbell. So get your So stop coming out here and being a promoter fanboy and talk the real. We'll see what Aram does for Tyson Fury. Tom Schwartz versus Tyson Fury. It's not good promotion. Let's keep it a buck. Keep it tall with y'all. And Shane Campbell, no, I have to disagree. Unrivaled Boxing Talking News says, B Marsh, what do you think of Fury possibly fighting White for the WBC Diamond, bro? I like the fight. Hey, why not?
Tyson Fury is better than Tom Schwartz. You know what I'm saying? I like Oscar Rivas versus Dillian White, but I do think that's a great domestic British rivalry. You know what I mean? What's his name? Dillian White versus Tyson Fury. Let's see it. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it happen. Phil Bass says Rigo was huge in Japan. He makes a lot really. He's not stupid. Yeah, hey, that fight Guillermo Rigondeaux used to had that on that New Year's Eve over there in Japan versus that 6-1 featherweight. That fight was war. It was vicious. Rigo got put on the deck twice, but came back and still stopped the man. Phil Bant says Rigo did promos in Japan. Yes, indeed. Shane Main Boxing Biker says Shane and Jay D can't even manage their own bank accounts, much less worried about Wilder. That was a funny one. They boxing Michael from BK, man, got the illest punchlines today, man. The man got me crying over here, dogs. Main boxing Michael says if Wilder fight for peanuts and Shane Campbell and JD works for Link and cotton balls in their pockets. Facts. Shane Campbell says Wilder bank account empty, spending it on Big Baby's leftovers. Shane Campbell, you sound dumb right about now, man. How's his bank account empty, man? Come on, dogs. Come what do you ain't come here to talk boxing, man. You need to go to them other channels where JD came from. You know what I mean? You need to follow JD and keep it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? Shane Campbell, man. I don't know what you're trying to say, but you ain't come here talking boxing, man. You know what I mean? You came here to hate on Wilder. That's what we don't do over here. I don't even hate on AJ over here. So I don't hate on no fighters. You guys go to bed angry as fuck at these boxers. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I go to bed thinking Monday or Tuesday. What's the day? Tuesday. Gotta make things happen for Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? That's what I go to bed doing. Write my goals down for the next day, trying to accomplish them. Shay, Phil Bass says, Shay, dog, what the fuck? Boxing Vodka says, Shane Campbell, your girl or wife is someone's leftover. Come on, Boxing Vodka, dog. Going in. He says, Shane Campbell, your girl or wife is someone's leftover also, and she from New York. I probably not a Fogo sticker. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I rival boxing talk. Says, yo, Boxing Michael, that's not okay. And people get personal. Hey, people get personal like Shay Campbell talking about a millionaire's bank account is empty, man. You know what I mean? Hey, that's what happens when you start going in on stuff that ain't boxing related. You know what I'm saying? You check it. You talk about Deontay Wilder's. You probably heard that from them other goofy ass channels who do nothing but hate. They come on this motherfucker fuming every day, fuming. Mm. I came and made a video about basically giving the 154 pounders props. They have losses. They have a loss because they're fighting each other. The guys in the heavyweight division are not fighting each other. That's why they have these nice glossy records and are undefeated. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad. I'm not mad because the guys at 154 are actually showing a blueprint of what the guys in the heavyweight division should be doing. You know what I mean? Oh man, where we at? Main Boxer Michael says he came in here talking nice, so I'm treating him according. Sean Campbell says New York next. Be real, you ain't poking no one with nothing. You like to get poked, baby. Some MRC studs. Oh come on, man. That's what we not gonna do, man. We ain't gonna be talking that gay shit, man. That's that. My channel is not. My channel is not in that genre. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's channels on YouTube for the LBGTQ commission or whatever the fuck you call them. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't the channel for that, man. You know what I mean? Phil Bass says, "What's next?" Talking about the Beatles and Elton John. What the fuck? This is a boxing channel. Preach, Phil Bass. Phil Bass is shade, bro. Bayboxing Michael says, "Yo, real talk. I know the backstory with Wilder and Big Baby because I'm close friends with the kickboxer that trains with Miller." Shane Campbell says, "Don't slip off that bike." On oh no no no. That's why I'm not gonna read that. Phil Bass says, "V Marsh boxing, not a fool. Boxing Shane, get the fuck out of here." Shane Campbell, where the fuck did you come from, man? Where'd you come from, man? How'd you find this channel? Are you subscribed or are you just coming through to check out the live stream? You know what I'm saying? Cause I've done plenty of live streams and man, I ain't had nobody talking that gay shit like you have. You know what I'm saying? And look, you might not like Wilden. That's fine. You don't have to like him. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna call Wilder a duck, you can call Anthony Joshua a duck too. You know what I'm saying? You can call him a duck too. The man Anthony Joshua said it on that mat with the man that cruiserweight champ. What was Johnny Nelson that said, man, we not gonna we're not trying to fight Deontay Wilder until 2019, 2020. Look how they ducked out the fight versus when they said, oh, the WBA has said we have to make the Povetkin fight in 24 hours. They didn't even have a date or venue, and that fight didn't get announced really till like 2 weeks later, when Deontay Wilder was gonna accept that 15 million. So come on, Shane Campbell, don't do that, man. Don't do that. You gotta be objective over here. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna call Wilder a duck, I'm gonna call Anthony Joshua a duck. To be honest, I'm not pleased with none of these fighters in the heavyweight division. They're all fighting inferior opposition and not fighting each other. Why don't you come from that perspective? Already, where we at? Phil Bad says we learning things here. I am. You crazy, bro. Shade, he talking shade. Shane Campbell, man, he say talking about all kinds of nut ass shit, man. Our rival boxer says Shane's closest relationship with a woman was when he got rejected in high school when he walked up to the only chick he thought was on his level. And she was like, LOL, peace. Shane Campbell, man. Come talk that boxing, dogs. Don't be talking about no strap ons and shit like that, man. Phil Vance says Barry Hearn said on IFL TV in 2018 he will make sure AJ never fights Deontay Wilder. And I'm UK. Shane, grow up, G. You ain't never lie. I remember that interview on IFL TV with Coogan right there on the lake while the man Barry Hearn was fishing. Main Boxing Biker says AJ ducked Ortiz and Wilder fought him. He did. He did. And now I'll keep it tall with y'all. Ortiz ducked the man. What's his name? He ducked Anthony Joshua. He should have taken that 7 million that Eddie Hearn said they tried to offer the man. I don't understand the Ortiz, but I'm not mad. I'm not gonna be mad one bit. What the fuck? It's the first time one of these heavyweights doing some goofy ass shit. That's why I don't make too many videos about the heavyweight division. I'm just that type of guy. Um, I don't make videos just because it's the popular thing to do. You know, look, I like boxing and I like a lot of fighters and a lot of divisions. And sometimes I'll be busy. Like right now, I've been on this piece for what now 14 minutes. I gotta get up out of here, man. I got some things I gotta handle. Some errands gotta run. You know what I mean? Gotta go make this money today. Got some stuff. Gotta go buy some shipping supplies. You know what I mean? Um, at the end of the day, I mostly talk about stuff what people are not talking about in boxing. Sometimes I could be selfish. I'm not gonna lie. I might talk about what I want to talk about in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Rather than what's the hot topic. Like what was people talking about the other day? Um, uh, I don't know. There was something people were talking about, and I didn't even touch on it. Maybe Ortiz not taking the 7 million What I need to talk? The man ain't take the money. He's a dickhead. I don't gotta make a video to say that. I was pissed already, but not pissed to the point where I'm bothered by it. None of these heavyweights are doing what they have to do, unlike the junior middleweights at 154. So, I mostly talk about things that interest me, you know what I'm saying? So, maybe if I talked about a lot of fuckery, a lot of the bullshit, what fellas ain't doing in boxing, maybe I'd have mad more subscribers. But at the end of the day, word to God, I ain't never been in this shit to get subscribers or likes. And I do appreciate people who do subscribe and who do hit the like button and who do drop comments. I mostly appreciate comments and doing live streams to interact back and forth with everybody on the chat. You know what I mean? Participation in there. That's what I do mostly enjoy. You know what I mean? But I just can't come on this piece to talk boxing. You know what I'm saying? I don't get I make my DuckTales videos. I got a DuckTales series that a lot of other channels been trying to bite. And when I call they bluff, niggas acting like they don't know who I am. You know damn well who I am, dogs. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that NBA player who put in work. Might not be an all-star, you know what I'm saying? But I'll come in and I'll put in work like Lou Williams. Straight up and down like Lou Wills. I'm going to come off the bench and I'll fry you. I give 30 points straight off the bench. Just like that. Alrighty, where we at? Where we at? Okay. Phil Bass says easy 7 mil. Yeah, easy 7 mil. Take that loss if you're gonna take it, but get that guap, man. Shane Campbell says AJ will put the Cuban to bed and then he will return to Cuba. Yeah, and that's exactly what's not gonna happen. I highly doubt that. First and foremost, the man is a defectee. He ain't going back to Cuba. And second of all, AJ's not fighting the Cuban. So he's fighting a Mexican. So what are you talking about, Shane? Stop with the hypotheticals and talk about fights that are actually happening. That's another thing. What I don't do too much on my. I don't like talking about fights that are not made. I like talk about breakdown and predictions and fights that are already penciled in and are scheduled. You know what I mean? Okay. Phil Ban says Rico getting 400K. Ortiz gets 7 million. Walks off crazy. Walks off crazy, man. What did Ortiz get for Deontay Wilder? I know it wasn't great. He got 500K for Deontay Wilder. Main Boxing Biker says when Ortiz was with Eddie Hearn, that was the easiest way to make the AJ fight. AJ and Eddie Hearn lied and ducked the Ortiz fight. Facts. Unrivaled Boxing Talk says, B Marsh, what do you think of Ray Robinson versus Josh Kelly? Yeah, Josh Kelly just got announced. The Olympian from England, man. That's a good fight. That's a good fight for him, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's gonna be an ESPN fight. I had to fight Ray Robinson versus that guy who was Bud Crawford's mandatory. I had it a draw, you know what I mean? So Ray Robinson moves on. He ain't lose a fight. So another TV date's good for him, you know what I mean? I think Josh Kelly should win that fight, but I think it's a step up fight anyways, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to that when it do happen. All right, Phil Bant says Hearn signed Ortiz to pacify him. They're scum. I agree, Phil Bant. Shane Campbell says Ortiz afraid of the landlord. The rent is due. Shane Campbell, you need to get the man AJ's Bozak out your mouth, kid. That's what you gotta do, Slib. You gotta get him out. Stop sucking that man off. You know what I mean? Landlord of what? What's he the landlord of? Main Boxing Biker says some people just want to flood the internet with content. Yeah, they do. Main Boxing Biker says, yep, I'm here to give my opinion about boxing. Yes, indeed. Another thing, Main Boxing Biker fellas, be riding the hate thing, whether it's whomever they hating on for clicks and views, you know what I mean, and controversial titles. I like the video the man McGregor had the other day on why he feels the man Dillian White does deserve a title shot and doesn't have to go hoops through hoops and bounds. I like them type of videos, you know what I'm saying? Critical thinking type of videos, you know what I mean? Um, Phil Band says, main boxer biker, this is quality. I detest content. Thank you, Phil Bant. Shane Campbell says, Ortiz turned down 7 mil. He couldn't afford the rent. He obviously can't afford the rent and they ain't even bothered by that 7 million. Because if he was pressed for money, wouldn't he take that 7 million? Shit, if I ain't got no money right now and I get offered enough to make my rent for the next month or pay my mortgage, hey, I'm on it. I jump on it without any questions. But if I got 2 million in the bank, I don't even gotta work this month. Cause I'm gonna pay my rent next month without a sweat. Phil Band says, I know the best channel. This is the top 10 of all boxing channels, and there are hundreds. There are thousands probably. But thanks, Phil Band. Appreciate that, man. You know, that's what we do over here. Talk nothing but boxing, man. Keep our feelings out of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people do get emotional. I don't get emotional, really. But I will flame fellas up for talking fuckery. Shane Campbell says, Birmingham is AJ's country. I'm not gonna respond to that because that sounds like you sound like a troll right now. That's actually what you are. You're not a boxing fan, Shane Campbell. You're actually a troll, and I'm glad I recognized that before I start flaming you up. Now I'm just gonna not take you seriously. Phil Band says I don't rate Josh Kelly. I've watched him live. I mean he's not bad. Oh, it's on the zone, says McGregor. It's on Joshua's undercard. Okay. Dan Ray Robinson's moving and shaking. He be on PBC. He be on ESPN now. The zone. Yeah, that's a decent fight on the undercard. Yeah. Phil Bass says Shane Campbell, not my guy, Shane. Shane Campbell says nothing, actually. Phil Bass says Shane, I'm what 60 miles from AJ Town, Watford. Don't mean I like him. Main boxing biker says fact. I've been listening to B Marsh from long time since Beats and EJ and them. Yeah, man. Beats and AJ, those my guys, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I fucks with Beats and EJ, man. You know, these guys from the UK, they be talking that boxing shit, you know what I mean? Man, we used to be on the hangouts talking for hours, and you know, yeah. I matter of fact, I used to see you in the chat from long time, man, boxing biker. You know what I'm saying? Then I clicked on your channel one time, I seen you make videos, and I subbed immediately. Unrivaled Boxer says, B March, one of the first dudes I spoke to, and I can say is he'll call shit right down the middle. He's pro boxing, not pro promoter or fighter. Nah, not at all. I ain't no pro promoter or fighter. I do like certain fighters, sure, you know, but I'm not impartial to them. You know, I criticize them when need be, and I praise them when need be. You know what I'm saying? You know, some guys use a channel. There's certain channels that are hate channels. Like you can go to so and so's channel. It's a hate Wilder channel. There used to be channels that was hate Pacquiao channels. There used to be channels that were hate Floyd Mayweather channels. There used to be channels that be hate Anthony Joshua. They are hate channels that hate Adonis Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? But that's to build a fan base. So if you don't like a guy like Shane Campbell who loves Anthony Joshua. There's plenty of channels out there, and you could come here too. You could come here and troll all you want, but don't be talking that gay shit. Say some gay shit again, man. I'm gonna flame your ass up, and I'm gonna boot you out of here. But Shane Campbell, there's plenty of Anthony Joshua channels, and I'm pretty sure he's there all day, every day. 22 hours out the day. He only takes a 2 hour nap to charge up, then come on these pro AJ channels. You know what I mean? No agenda, nah, not none whatsoever. But I do hear a lot of people agenda hating on the PBC, you know, and I think, to me, these people who be bashing Heyman and the PBC every day, to me, they sound like Hawker Mustang, Sean Newton, Precise Presenter, Thunderdome Boxing. Um, they exactly turned into these Michael Montero. Now they be calling the PBC the demographic. Dogs, I heard this type of shit from Michael Montero first. You know what I'm saying? Michael Montero is a goofy ass channel. A guy who you could tell is not in this boxing shit because he grew up watching boxing. He's doing this as a journalist. You know what I'm saying? Something to do writing articles.
covering boxing. You know what I'm saying? He don't love the sport. He ain't come from a love perspective. And these are black channels too. That's the thing that, these are black channels who's now calling the PBC and the Al Heyman demographic and stuff. And I first started hearing those type of words from Michael Montero. So a lot of channels have turned into Precise Percenter. All those guys I mentioned, Sean Newton, all these goofy ass motherfuckers out here who hate black channels, who are infatuated with black channels. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they talk about. They make videos about the black channels. To me, I'm not gonna lie. I don't listen to too many boxing channel videos. And the people who I do listen to, you know who you are because comment in your comment section. You know what I'm saying? And I always hit a thumbs up. You could go to my like section in my videos, and you'll see I probably like all their videos. But there's some channels out here that they could be talking. They could be talking about me for all I know, but I wouldn't know if I don't like their content. It's like on TV. On TV, what I don't like, I don't know. I don't know. Let's say Dog the Bounty Hunter, that racist motherfucker. I don't like Dog the Bounty Hunter. Guess what? I don't watch him. I don't even give that motherfucker 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch him. That's how I feel about boxing channels that I don't prefer, who don't be talking boxing or who are race baiting or who out here for clickbaiting and who are out here to try monetize and they're agenda driven and who out here hating on the PBC, but they never bash fucking Matchroom. Like, come on. Like, how you figure Matchroom is even close to competing with the PBC? I don't understand that. Matchroom ain't giving us no free boxing world championship fights, not world championship caliber, world championship, world title fights on free TV. Like how I grew up watching boxing as a little kid, watching fights on World Wider Sports on ABC and on NBC, watching stuff on CBS with what's that guy? That guy who used to also comment football, Dan Disseldorf. You know what I'm saying, on CBS, watching Terry Norris versus John Mugabe. I remember those fights as I was a little kid. You know what I mean? These were on free TV. We ain't have cable in 1980, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I remember all these fights. You know, PBC is giving us that. You know what I'm saying? Guys are losing on PBC because they fighting the best of the best. Now, if you're talking about Terrence Crawford and you're mad that Errol Spence and Sean Porter, Keith Thurman and Pat, come on, man. How you gonna be mad at those welterweights? You should be mad at Bud Crawford, and I'm a fan of Bud Crawford. Be mad at him for not signing or getting on with going over there to the PBC side. Even Manny Pacquiao went over there. I never thought I'd see Manny Pacquiao fighting the likes of Keith Thurman and Adrian Broner and all these guys. He's on PBC, dogs. You know what I'm saying? PBC is the best outfit in boxing in USA. And it's not because I'm a fanboy of PBC. I have eyes. It's better than DAZN and it's better than ESPN. Now, you can gas up DAZN because they gave you Canelo and Jacobs for $20. Good fight. $20 is better than paying for 80. You know what I'm saying? It's better than paying for 75, $80 for the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? But what do they give you after that? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It was never a thought of me for having to pay to see guys like Fitzgerald versus Fowler. I don't pay for them type of fights. That was on the zone. Turned out to be a good domestic rivalry from England. But this is USA, Jack. We don't pay for shit like that over here. Matter of fact, we're not even concerned. I'm a boxing fan and I like all types of boxing from everywhere on the planet. But I'm just talking about generally on the global atmosphere. Those are not fights people are clamoring for or interested in. In the UK, they might be, but in USA, no. But Hurd versus Lara, Hurd versus J Rock, Tony Harrison versus Charlo, those are good fights. You motherfuckers was hating on Karabov versus on Charlo. What happened? It turned out to be a very competitive fight. And that's what PBC gives you. All I see on Matchroom is fellas who are talented, highly prospects, guys considered contenders, taking losses, losing. So don't come at me with that stupid shit, man. Trying to say like, oh, like like I might be a PBC fanboy. Come on, man. This USA, Jack. This where the best boxing on the planet happens. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Bring all them British fighters. Come tell them to come over here to USA and let them fight the best of the cream of the crop. I guarantee you the American fighters will be the ones standing. And that's nothing against the British fighters, but y'all fellas be trying to make it look like the UK got the best boxing. Y'all have great fans over there, no question about it. But division by division, only division that I might concede y'all might have the best of the best is in the heavyweight division. You have Tyson Fury, Dillian White, and Anthony Joshua out there. You guys have better heavyweights in UK than in the USA. But bring any of your welterweights or junior welterweights, I'm sorry, junior middleweights over the USA. See what happens. We'll see what the guy Josh Taylor does with Ivan Branchek. I do believe he should win by on points. I might do a prediction video on that. You know what I'm saying? Then at the end of the day, he got to fight the man Regis Progress. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see who wins that battle. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not about being a fanboy of where I like where the best competition is. You know what I mean? I like where the best competition is. Um, and I personally think that the best competition is on PBC, not ESPN. ESPN gives you shit like Dogbo versus Navarrete. I didn't even watch that fight, dogs. I didn't watch it. I was not gonna watch. I didn't even make a prediction. What, I'm gonna make a prediction video to say the little Ghanaian gonna get fucked up? I don't want to do that. I don't even want to see the fight, man, because the first fight kind of hurt me. How he got bashed up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I didn't want to make a second video. You check it. I didn't want to even watch. I didn't watch that. I watched Burchell versus Vargas. That's what Top Rank ESPN will give you. Rematches of shit that we don't want to see. You know what I mean? You checking? I like Badu Jack versus Stevenson. I like Stevenson versus Varzik. Look, man, the champions can take losses on the PBC side because they give us the best fights in boxing. If you don't like that, too bad for you. Where we at in the chat, man? I'm way behind. Oh shit. Holy shit. Where am I? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Damn it, man. I'm way behind. Oh shit. Okay, Shane Campbell says AJ flying the flag of Britain, collecting the rent of the Americans. Anyways, Unrivaled says no agenda. First, you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans? I'm going to read Shane Campbell's comments to myself first before I read them out. If they don't make sense or they're just biased or just fuckery, I'm not going to read them out loud. I'm going to read everybody else's out loud if they talking some real shit. Unrivaled Boxing says, no agenda. No doubt about it, no agenda whatsoever. I'm a fan of boxing and the best fights available. Phil Band says, that Barry Hearn interview says it all to me, what I need to know on that river. Exactly. Main Boxing Biker says, I treat all fighters equally until they show hold type behaviors. True indeed. Like Tank Davis. Phil Band says, you're right, Shane. Birmingham is AJ Town, but where you from? See above. I don't hate AJ, but he is controlled by Hearns in a bad way. Phil Band says, Shane, it's Hearn. I hate they ruin favorite sports in UK snooker too. And Rival Boxing Talk says, I get pissed when people all the time because I have no favorites. True indeed. And the McGregor, I gave you props on every video I've done about Jared Hurd and J Rock. You were the only person I do know on these YouTube streets who picked the man J Rock to win the fight. Big ups to McGregor. McGregor knows his boxing, no doubt about it. Phil Bennett says, Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, your channel's amazing. Yes, it is. I do agree. I love his channel. It's one of the few channels that I do I listen to every video he drops, and I do watch all the videos. Phil Band says, Unrivaled Boxing Talks, I truly mean that even though I go cause odd trouble is great. Okay, let me read this out loud. Shane Campbell says Barry Hearn is a traitor to landlord. He's disrespecting the struggle. Barry Hearn should apologize. Them fellas, AJ's more like a slumlord. I'll give him that with his low ball offers. Except to Luis Ortiz, that was a high offer. That was 7 million. That was a good payday. But even the payday that was offering Big Baby was a good payday. But I guess they'll give good paydays to guys they know they could beat. Even though Ortiz, I would favor AJ to win that fight, but I think it'll be a difficult fight. Southpaw. Um, my boxing biker says all of them is bias and hatred channels that promote racism and all. Agreed. Phil Band says, a rival boxing talk, your knowledge is far more than mine. Too, really good. Phil Band says, LDBC is a lot better last 3 months. I'm liking it again lately. Phil Band says, Shane, you from Belfast. What the fuck, man? Shane Campbell says, precise percent of just don't like black people. He clearly lost his high school love to a black woman. Possibly. Phil Band says life is about race if you don't love. Phil Band says in the 80s, white guys were useless at boxing. I don't know about that. Actually, in the 80s, white guys were tougher than the guys we do have now. I'll tell you that. Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Sean Mannion. Um, what's that white boy who from Yonkers who Nigel Bell beat? Doug DeWitt. Those some tough white boys back in the 80s, man. Who else? Jerry Cooney was on his way up. He not beat the shit out of Ken Norton. Um, there was some better white dudes in back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? But better than now, I'll tell you that. Unrivaled boxing talking news. Phil Band, we are learning. We are all learning. Yes, we are. I learn every day. Shane Campbell, I'm in AJ country, not Belfast. That's enemy. They claim fury. Phil Band says to McGregor, Unrivaled Boxing Talks. Your knowledge is epic, man. Phil Band says, I love causing controversy, but true talk here. Today, some great channels. Unrivaled says, I'm a baby dude. Only been watching boxing from 17. I'm way behind. Hey, you know a lot if you was only watching it from 17, man. I mean, Boxing Biker says, what y'all think about Paul Williams talking about he know how to defeat Errol Spence? Yeah, I actually didn't hear Paul Williams say that. Paul Williams, what would he do? Be a volume puncher? Give up his his height if he did fight the man Errol Spence? I think he might get knocked out. Phil Bass says 17 years, man. Me 35, but 17 years that's a doctor to me. Me Boxing Viker says the zone make you pay for Liam versus Callum. Yeah, they do, man. Them the zone fights should be free. Look at the Golden Boy cards they be having on the zone. That shit that used to be on Facebook Live or ESPN two. It's not worth paying for. I'm sorry. I like my look. Everybody loves the zone lovers or the guys who hate PBC and hate on Al Heyman. They always try to tell people, "Whoa, great deal, the zone 9.99, man. Oh my gosh, man, you guys should be buying the zone. You should pay for it." But they never talk about the free fights PBC gives us, which are 10 times better than all that DAZN shit. Why they never talk about? Why don't DAZN do what PBC does and give free fights rather than? They don't ever say that. That's why they agenda driven. Bland says, excuse me, Phil Band says we underestimate ourselves. Unrival says I'm only 26, bud. Unrival says the best boxing promoter right now, hands down, is the fans. Unrival says UK is sliding. B Marsh. Hey man, UK had a lot of champions in 2014, 2015. But as of right now, I rate guys like Josh Warrington. I'd love to see Josh Warrington come to the USA and fight guys like Santa Cruz or try Unify. You know what I mean? I do rate some guys from the UK, but overall, I'll always rate the American boxers more than United Kingdom. I'm sorry. Just look at the track record of all the UK guys been coming over here, from guys like Crowler, fucking Rocky Feldon. Some other British lost the other day too. Who else? And they laid the fuck down. Crowler, Rocky Feldon. Somebody else got bashed up coming over here. I can't even remember. I'm just gonna rate the fighters in USA more. And I love when a guy from any part of the planet comes out to become a dominant champion anywhere besides USA, because USA always has the dominant champions. I like a guy like Maruti Mutalini at flyweight. He's doing the damn thing, man. He got another W in Japan. 3 fights in a row in his title defenses after reclaiming back his IBF strap. This guy's a good fighter at 112, you know what I'm saying? And he's beating everybody. You know, I like fighters coming from all over the planet and showing that they're dominant, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I like. Phil Bance says, at 26, you have 1,000 fights to watch at an internet era. A gift to the eyes, bro. Preach, Phil Bance. You know, back in the day, man, you had to order, you had to buy VCR tapes to get all the fights that you missed on pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Now you could just type it in on YouTube. Just type in the name and press enter, and boom, you're there. It's a beautiful thing. Main Boxing Fight Biker says, we got a bigger piece of the crop here. Big, tall men in the USA have other sport options like football and basketball. Indeed. And in every division where the Americans holding it down, I will pick them to be victorious over fighters from any other part of the planet. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it's been in boxing. Yeah, boxing was inception was in the UK, but USA been holding it down, dogs. They have been, man. They got the most world champions always, always. Mexico second. Look at when English fighters go over to Mexico, man. Some have like John H. Tracy. He went over there to Mexico and he beat Jose Napoles in believe in '76. You know what I mean? But that's an anomaly. Look at what happened to Lee Selby, or Lee Selby's little brother, when he fought that Mexican. Man, he got beat the fuck up over there, man. I knew that would happen, man, because that's a hostile environment. Even for an American to go to Mexico and get the dub, like Brandon Rios tried to do with Humberto Soto, it's not happening, man. Phil Bass says to Unrivaled Boxing Talk, get a degree in that if you can. Media Boxing etc. At 26, wish I was younger. Main Boxing Biker says, LOL, Dogbo came in screaming Neho and got tore the fuck up. Yeah, and I didn't want to see that happen a second time, and I'm not going to watch that fight. I heard people's post-fight review videos. And it sounded like what I thought would happen, man. That kid's career, man, he'll probably never be the same, man. And I heard I heard his post-fight review talking about he want to move out to 126. My guy, you need to move down to 118. Unrivaled says, B. Marsh, what you think of Conlon fighting Nikitin, who the dude he was robbed against in the Olympics? I'm looking forward to that one because I thought, Colin, that was a bad robbery, man. You know, the guy didn't even medal in this in the Rio Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with the Russian. Man, that's a good fight right there. I enjoy, I'm looking forward to that fight. You know, I'm looking forward to when Conlon gonna step up like Patty Barnes and go ahead get that world title shot. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him and Shakur Stevenson, you know what I mean? But that's a good look. If they gonna do what they did in the amateurs on the highest level in the Olympics, they need to make that happen. I didn't even know they fighting. When is that fight, matter of fact? Main Boxing Biker says Errol Spence picked J-Rock to win the fight. Oh, Main Boxing, or did he? Good for him, man. He got that absolutely right. I hope he put some money on it. Main Boxing Biker says, I'm a sub to Unrivaled. Yeah, Unrivaled be talking that boxing, man. Good channel. Phil Bass says, AJ reminds, and I subbed to McGregor before I'd even talked to him. I had seen a channel, like in my recommendation, said McGregor, and I went and listened to it, and I was like, yeah, another guy from the UK talking some good boxing. And I ain't gonna lie, man, most of the channels I do listen to, boxing channels, are from the UK.
Phil Bass says AJ reminds me of Donald Trump, 1980 slumlord in the Upper East Side of New York. Yeah, man, nice one, nice one. I'd rival boxing talk. I'm McGregor boxing stars, man. Phil Bass says I'm 54 years, seen a lot. Wow, thought you was younger than that. One of them ones. Wagwan, one of them ones. What the deal, man? Says, yes, B. Marsh. What's good, my brother? All is good, man. Thanks for coming through. Main Boxing Biker says, I still remember when Sergio Martinez slept Paul Williams. Yes, sir. Left hook from hell. Put his ass to sleep face down on the canvas with his eyes open. Unrivaled boxing talk. And you know, that first fight with Sergio Martinez and Paul Williams was awesome, man. They both put each other on the canvas. Main Boxing Biker says, yo, which was worse to y'all? Sergio Martinez left hook to Paul Williams or Pacquiao's to Hatton's? That's a tough one, man. I'll probably say, look, I'll probably say Hatton's because that was an elite level fight, pay per view type shit, and the way Pacquiao destroyed him, and Floyd didn't even do that to him in the second round at least, and he had Pacquiao put him down in the first round too, you know. Sergio Mart. Personally, let me put it like this. I like Sergio Martinez left hook better. I like his knockout better. But to me, the better guy to knock out was definitely Ricky Hatton. Main Boxer Biker says, I'm 36, started watching boxing heavy at age 13. No doubt. Phil Ban says, Mexican guys mainly always roll up UK dudes. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of another UK guy who went over there to Mexico. Phil Bass says, remember Nassim versus Barrera? Yeah, that was rooting for Prince Nassim, one of my favorite boxers and personalities of all time. And man, he got embarrassed. Yeah. One of them ones says, what's up to McGregor? Phil Bass says, Shakur got these moves, great feet. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson's look good, man. I like what he did versus Christopher Diaz, guy who had only one loss. Big step up fight and he came through. Okay, main boxing biker says, McGregor, oh shit, bro, I didn't even know I was lagging. LOL, inside joke. Phil Bass says, they say Floyd was a great Sugar Ray Leonard would have slapped the ass out of that boy. And Tommy Hearns at 147. Ooh, Floyd would still be in a coma. True talk. Now, as far as Floyd and Ray Leonard, I've never known who will win that fight. I don't know. I don't know. We'll never see it. It'll never happen. But Tommy Hearns versus Floyd, I got Tommy Hearns by KO. Straight up. I do. I do. Phil Bant, one thing we learned in the last 2 weeks, never sleep on Crunk. Detroit. Best place in the world to learn the art. I agree 100%, Phil Bant. Too bad the man, Emmanuel Stewart's not around. But Crunk Jim, growing up till Emmanuel Stewart, that's why I'm a fan of Adonis Stevenson. I wasn't so much a fan of Vladimir Klitschko or Lennox Lewis for that matter, you know what I mean? But Crunk Jim has always been close to my heart. Welcome, Nikita. Um, Welcome, Nikita was part of the Crunk Gym. What's his name? Even K9 Bondridge, you know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters came out of that gym, you know what I mean? Man, Emmanuel Taylor trained Jermaine Taylor. I wasn't a fan of Jermaine Taylor, but I'm a fan of Emmanuel Stewart, no doubt about it. Main Boxing Biker says, yep, to Phil Band. Yep, Nassim got destroyed. Hell yeah. That motherfucker Barrera, man, he treated him like a bitch. That man slammed his head into the turnbuckle, put him in a figure not a figure four. He put him in a kind of sleeper hold too, man. Shit was embarrassing, man. And again, Manny Stewart was training Prince Nassim that night too. Main boxing biker, haha, he was slapped. Yep, one of them ones says you have to catch Floyd first. Yeah, Tommy Hearns gonna catch him. I'm gonna catch him, man. He's gonna catch him. Rest in peace, Benny Stewart says Phil Bant. I was very sad he died. Me too, man. 2012. Rest in peace. Main Boxing Biker says, took me a while to start liking Lennox Lewis. I like Lennox Lewis. The day I liked Lennox Lewis was when he fought Vitaly Klitschko.
That fight made me a fan immediately, because I had him down on the cards even up until the time of the stoppage. You know what I'm saying? And that fight just showed me, wow, he was kind of overweight in that fight too. He wasn't in the best of his shape, but he got it done. One of them ones says the new generations of fighters from the UK are looking promising. Like who? Like who? Main boxing biker says Barrera had him in a cobra clutch. He did. And slammed his head into the turnbuckle, man. Phil Bass says Manny trained a dude in 1978 would have been best boxer of all time, but he ended up on the streets an alcoholic. Very sad. I can't remember the young man name. Manny trained him for 12 from 12 to 16. Who's that? One of them ones says Kelly versus Robinson. Very good match. Yes, indeed. Phil Bass says in Kronk, he ruined Vitali. 38-year-old Lennox. Yeah. I don't know if he ruined Vitali. Vitali went on to become a world champion again and the Ring Magazine champion. And never lost again after that. I don't know if he ruined Vitali. Vitali, he had a good career after that fight, But yeah, man. But yeah, I'm about to seal the deal on this, man. I think I've been here for a little too long. Okay, one of them ones says like Josh Taylor, Joshua Buatsi, Yard, Warrington. I agree. But Warrington's already up there. Josh Taylor, he's on his way up. Joshua Buatsi, I agree. He's going to be a problem. He already is. Yard, we'll see, but he's going to Russia. Props to him. Um, yeah. Phil Band says Vitali's had 9 WBC defenses. Yeah, man. Pretty good. Main Boxing Biker says, I like Lewis due to his rematch KOs. Yeah. I like Lewis, well, in hindsight, when I watched him, Lewis is in my top 5 all time greatest heavyweights of all time. The skill set, man. This is chess, not checkers. You know what I mean? Boxing IQ, his jab and his straight right hand was a thing of beauty. The way he gauged distance, as a master of distance. You know what I mean? And he avenged every single loss that he had. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give a man credit for that. Lewis was vicious. You know what I mean? And the only thing I liked about Lewis, I ain't gonna lie, was what his ring walk. I used to like when he come out to the Bob Marley, chase them crazy ball heads out of town. Wicked tune, you know what I mean? So that's what I did like about Lewis. But of course, I rooted for guys like Holyfield and Mike Tyson over him. You know what I'm saying? I rooted for Shannon Briggs, all these the Americans over the British guys. It is what it is. Why wouldn't I? I expect a British guy to root for their British heavyweight over an American. Why not? Um, Phil Bass says Lewis was a G, no doubt. Main Boxing Biker says Lewis was a bad man, no question about it. Phil Bass says Tyson was paid to duck Lewis in '93. Well, Tyson was in prison in 1993. I think you mean in 1996, where Mike Tyson settled it in court and vacated or got stripped of his WBC belt because he was avoiding and ducking the man Lennox Lewis. He paid Lennox Lewis $4 million in 1996 court case. And instead of fighting Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson went on to fight Bruce Seldon for the WBA title, and that's the night Tupac got shot, September of 1996. Okay, where we at? Phil Bass says, well, Don King did. King and his snake, bro. Main Boxing Biker says Lewis with the dreads was wicked in that ring. Yeah, he was, man. Tyson tried to test Jamaican. No way, man. Nah, he couldn't. Phil Bass says, I love Lewis. So do I. Lewis is one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. After the fact. Not while he was fighting, but after the fact, no doubt about it. Main Boxing Biker says, yo, B Marsh, you ain't never gonna leave your house fucking with us today. You ain't lying, dogs. I'm about to take a fresh. I'm about to read this last comment from one of them ones, and I'm gone. One of them ones says Tyson was well and truly past his prime in '02. I didn't rate the win, and I'm from London. Yeah, he definitely was way past his prime, but that's the fight people wanted, and that's Mike Tyson was now calling for that fight, unlike what he wasn't calling for it in 1996. Like I said, the man gave up his WBC strap, and that's how the man Lennox Lewis got it back when he fought Oliver McCall for the vacant WBC strap. Okay, and he paid him $4 million. Basically, step aside money. Step aside, and he still lost his belt because I mean Lennox Lewis took him to court. Phil Bass says Tyson been ducking for a long time. He was ducking Tyson from Lewis since 1996, and they fought in '02. So that's a long time. Can't disagree with that one. Phil Bass says me to one of them ones. Tyson ducked him, bro. Yeah, well, he eventually fought him, so I don't know if you can call it a duck at the end of the day. But for '96, for 6 years, he did duck him. Yo, B Marsh about to step up out of here, man. Gotta make these moves, man. Feel bad. Big ups to one of them ones. But he said Tyson got killed by Danny Williams too. Big celebration in South London at that time. I remember that fight. That fight was in Kentucky or some shit. Oh man, that motherfucker, man. And hey, they won the war, but he knocked out Tyson. Had Tyson sitting on the ropes on the canvas, man. Phil Band, thanks a lot for coming through. He says, great show. Big ups to one of them was main boxing biker. Big ups to everybody who came through in this chat. You know what I mean? My man McGregor on Rival Boxing. Um, Big ups to the fanboy, the man Shane Campbell. Thanks for coming through. Big ups to everybody who came through and participated. And I'm gone, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. And if Finks GRR, big ups to Finks GRR. Hope I ain't leave nobody out. Peace. And at the end of the day, my conclusion of this video, if these heavyweights keep fucking around not fighting each other, they gonna get these losses. Big ups to the 154-pound division for fighting each other all in their prime, all guys under the